Welcome to episode 347 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and I've got two great guests this week. Mike Potter, the MacStock extraordinaire. He is back on the show. How you doing, Mike? Great to have you.
We have to talk about this MacStock extraordinaire stuff, Dave.
Yes, we do.
Great to be here. Thanks, Dave.
Yes. Oh, always a pleasure having you here. And I'll also have a pleasure to have Guy Serle here this week.
I'm doing just ducky. How's everybody else doing tonight?
Doing great. So glad you're here as well. We're going to have a great show. As well as Marty Jencius. How you doing, Marty?
You know, this is my favorite, hour and a half of the week. Big day tomorrow, but the Thursday nights are great because it just bleeds right into my weekend. I'm enjoying being here.
Yeah. Good. So glad you are here. And Jeff Gamet, glad you're back.
I'm doing all right. And I'm super happy to get to be here and hang out with you. And look at this, so many cool people. It's a treat.
Yes. All kinds of cool people. So we got the usual things this week. Apple we still continue to have some good amounts of news and things to talk about and all that fun stuff. Vision Pro, Mac and iOS and everything else. But like we do every week now, we start with what's going on with Vision Pro. This week, they released Vision Pro, Vision OS 2.4 beta with Apple Intelligence, Spatial Gallery, and much more. You can install it by going to the startup in the software updates and go through and do that. But the significant installs was Apple Intelligence. That's going to be on the Vision Pro for the first time on 2.4. And Vision Pro is going to help users communicate, collaborate, experience entertainment in all kinds of different ways. Apple Intelligence features are going to be accessible, including writing tools, generating, proofreading, and summarizing text, Genmojis. I don't know if I want to do Genmojis on my Vision Pro, Image Playground. Marty, I have not been able to do too much with it. You said that there wasn't a lot.
Well, the way the articles are written, they're like, coming in April, or we've just released it, but here are all the things we've released. I just like the fact that Apple continues to throw money at this product that they don't like, everybody hates, and has no future.
Of course, we mean Apple Intelligence, not Vision Pro.
Well, I mean, when you look at what they're doing with Vision Pro, every couple of months they're coming up with some cool stuff to add to it. The Apple Intelligence as it is experienced on Vision Pro with the developer beta 2.4, it's not fully formed yet. I keep looking for certain things and it's just not there.
It's beta.
It's beta. So they say everything's going to roll out they don't do public betas with Vision Pro. Yeah. So they say everything's going to roll out by April. So maybe we'll start to see things on the developer beta add to it before April, or maybe it'll just all pop in April. So,
all right. And I'll open it to the rest of the panel. If you want to add something, please do. I know you don't have a lot of things to say about Vision Pro, but go ahead and chime in if you do. And otherwise, I'll keep moving here on the different topics. There has been some hands-on though with articles talking about it, and like you said, Marty, I'm not seeing much. I tried a little bit, but not really much to say about it. It needs some work yet. But there were a couple videos that one is announced and one that just came out. The latest one was the immersive video of the Arctic surfing, which is now available. This is a new 6-minute immersive video that is in the Apple TV app. It's the second episode of the Boundless series. The first episode was with the hot air balloons, and then they came out with this one. Kind of funky, didn't you think? I mean, I just watched it yesterday, and it was pretty wild to be seeing this in the this is a place in Norway, and north of the Arctic Circle. So and these guys are crazy doing surfing in the water, and there's snow everywhere, and we're seeing the cold and right in front of your face. I was whoa.
My toes are still numb now. Granted, it could be the diabetes, but
yeah, it probably is mine too.
Neuropathy is not your friend.
No.
No, it's not.
And, they keep doing some cool stuff. I think maybe it's like, let's look at somebody do something that you'd never do. And let's look at it through
Right.
spatial video, which is pretty cool. But I would like something a little
really
more
cool.
relaxing, like some nice
Down-to-earth.
coral reef diving and things like that.
Yeah, we need some. A lot of the stuff is just they really want to show the
It's
action
all
and
like
the
extreme
sports and,
sport
the
kind of stuff.
streams. Other than the music ones,
Yeah.
they had music videos which are in a studio, which was kind of cool. But last story is what I'm really kind of excited about because I am a fan of U2. There's going to be an Apple Original Films groundbreaking new documentary that Bono, The Stories of Surrender. It's going to premiere globally on May 30th. So we got a couple months here. But what they did is they did an immersive version for the Apple Vision Pro. This is going to be the very first full feature length movie that will be streaming and will be an immersive video on Vision Pro. This is a press release that came out yesterday as we record, and it basically what they said is it's going to be a groundbreaking documentary, and it's based on his celebrated memoir, 40 songs, one story, and got some great things that's going on here. One man stage show and an evening of words, music, and some mischief. And so there's some really cool things. I guess if you're not a huge fan of U2 and Bono, you may not like this so much, but I think this will be a great thing to see. At least it's a good start for a full feature length movie, don't you think?
Yeah, I am a fan of U2. And you think of the kind of things that they've done, like the Bean or whatever, the Eye out in Vegas. Sphere. Okay. All of those things. Let me just put it. Tickets.
I was there. I actually saw it.
Tickets too expensive for me to get. Let's just call it that.
It wasn't too bad for me. I went. So.
Did you go, Dave? I'm not sure if you made that clear yet.
I did. Oh, I did.
If I wait long enough, it'll just show up on Apple TV.
Right. So I think it'll be very cool and they're always testing the media and the technology with the stuff that they do. So it fits right in their backyard.
I'll attest to that because it was phenomenal. I mean, just the show, the graphics and being immersed in that sphere, and the videos are just extraordinary, and just it's a venue it's worth at least checking out. They have like you can go and see what's behind the scenes. There's a movie that they did with U2 on Apple Music. They do have a short documentary showing the background of how they did the show and all that stuff if you were interested. So I may put a link in the show notes for that, but it was a lot of fun to even watch that because I was there and I got to watch behind the scenes as I never got to see that.
They've got some really cool people associated with this in terms of the development of it, and people who know music.
Yeah, they do. So, but nothing really too overly exciting beyond that with Vision Pro. So we'll go ahead and move on to beta. Beta this week, iOS 18.4 beta 1 was released this week, and this is a big release that has come out. You've got all kinds of features that were added, and the one thing is that Apple did say that it's going to be coming in April. And these are all the new features and what you're going to be able to get now in 18.4. Now, some of these features would only be available on the 15 and higher because of the Apple Intelligence, but a lot of things will work on the older models. But things like priority notifications, they're going to finally refresh that. One interesting thing that it is coming out and on Apple News Plus is there's going to have food reviews and recipes that's going to be available. I think that's going to be kind of an interesting thing that's going to be happening. It'll start in the U.S. and Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom for now, but they'll be going through all that. And then ambient music, and just a number of other great features so far. But what have you seen so far, Marty, in beta? I know you've been
notifications, and I'm one of those notification summaries, and I'm one of the few people that's probably a fan of those. It gives me enough context to realize this is what this person is contacting me about over and over again. So I enjoy that. Today I had an experience in my car with CarPlay on when I had a question for the S lady, and it was because I saw a symbol on a truck and I wanted to know that represents something. I know it represents something, but I can't figure it out.
While you're driving?
And so, it was just voice. I asked the S lady, I said, can you please tell me this? And, she gave me an answer of what it represents. And I'm like, let me rephrase that in a way that might be better. And I rephrased it, and she said, I can't figure this out, but would you like to go out to Chat GPT? And it took it out to Chat GPT, came back and nailed it. It was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So, I'm using it more and more.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, that's great. And, I'll bring on the rest of the panel in here on this. I know it's 18.4. You don't run beta, but I'd like to find out, Mike, how has it been so far with 18.3? Have you been okay with the experience so far with on your device?
I've not noticed any difference at all. Although I am excited by Marty's story there, because now instead of Siri saying, "I don't know the answer, let me take you to the web," Siri says, "I don't know the answer, here's ChatGPT." So improvement. That's great.
Yeah. Improvement. Unfortunately, it has to be a 15 higher on an iPhone to do that.
I can't run any Apple Intelligence stuff on my phone, so yeah.
Right. No, I know you have the 13, 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have a beta device of 13, so I was able to get a 13 Pro Max. That was my sister-in-law's, because they kind of snafu'd the trade-in. I said, "What are you going to do with it?" Well, I'll just give it to
get a good price on those now.
Yeah, it has a little crack in the lens that they got pushed back, so it's not, it doesn't affect the pictures. It's so ridiculous. Remember how those lenses that you see kind of like a hairline crack, but it's not affecting the photos. But they nixed it. You could have got $400. But what are you gonna do? So what about you, Jeff? I don't know if I know you've been kind of not been able to run a lot of beta lately, but what was your thoughts on some of these new features that are coming with 18.4?
Well, I'm running the beta on my iPad Mini.
Okay.
But it can't do the Apple Intelligence stuff. So there's that. But I did promptly go and add ambient music to the control center. And
good.
And that's cool. And it works well. Of course, the problem I have is, I want to listen to it on something that's better than the iPad Mini speakers, and that's personal issues. Doesn't matter. Point is, it's I like that we're getting access to some of these things that have been there, but for the average person, haven't been accessible. So that's good. And like the whole food section that they're adding to Apple News, that's really smart. I think it should have been there earlier. Now that they've announced it, it's like, oh well, that makes sense. Why did we have to wait this long? If you want people to look to you as their information hub, give them everything. It's not just news. Give them their lifestyle. And adding in a food section is, I think, an important part of that.
What about you, Guy? That's anything that's been standing out for you with on iOS?
Well, I did go to the beta. I'm running 18.4.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. Okay, yeah, it just came out. So, what's your thoughts on it?
The biggest reason why I did it turned out to be kind of a non-event. CarPlay having 3 rows of icons and stuff too.
Yes, I was just going to hit that.
And I've got Mazda CX-5, and the screen is such. It was like, I don't care how many rows Apple's going to give you. You're only going to see 2. 2 is all you get, mister. I am also looking forward to the recipes. I got a pressure cooker for Christmas, and I'm trying out all kinds of stuff and really enjoying that. So I'm interested in anything related to cooking with pressure cookers. I'm still not super happy with S Lady, even with Chat GPT, because all you get is kind of one shot at what it is that you want from it. There's no back and forth. Almost said the S Lady's word or name. S Lady goes like half the distance, hands it off, and says, "Okay, that's enough. You can't speak anymore." And so, I don't really see the point.
Yeah. So, like you just mentioned, it's a small but useful change for CarPlay, which is the fact now. I have not tried it yet. I might want to try it on my beta unit in my car.
Would the Charger have a big enough screen for that?
Screen. I think it would. Yeah, it's a pretty good size. So, we'll try it.
I think you have a pretty big.
But it's now, yeah. I think all of you have been in my. Oh no, not Marty, but I don't think Mike either. But yeah, you've seen my.
I've
my
seen
car,
your trunk.
The screen is pretty good
trunk
size.
Of your car.
I was surprised you were able to get back out.
Yeah, I know. Fortunately, there was that cord, and I could just pull it and hop out on the highway.
Hop out the back seat. Right.
Yeah.
But Dave, now we know. Next time we have to bind Mike's hands behind his back.
Right.
Yeah, I
live and learn.
I've had a lot of car
life
problems
is all
this week,
about
so
experimentation.
That's right.
Yeah. Learn from our mistakes.
All that luggage you guys put in my car last year, that it messed up the trunk actuator, so I had to replace it. It wouldn't open anymore.
Oh no.
So it's been a fun week with my car. Screws and nails and tires and that. So, but we got through it. But as I was saying with CarPlay, yeah, you now have 3 rows, which is pretty cool. Because it was very limited to the 2 rows before. So the people who like to have a lot of apps that are on CarPlay is pretty nice. And the other thing that was interesting is there was a huge bug because 18.4 was compatible with some of the older devices, so it's unsigned right now because it caused a boot loop issue where it rendered the device pretty much unusable. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max, 12 Mini, and the iPad 8 cellular, iPad Air 4th gen. And even the M2 Air and on both models, which I can't believe, it says that just the cellular, those aren't working right now too. So Apple's got to go back to the drawing board on these models. So if you're doing beta testing and you own one of those models, you're going to have to wait and be back to the 18.3.1.
See, this is exactly why we always say don't run beta on mission critical devices.
Exactly.
How many people have 216 Pros though, or 216s?
No, they don't. I mean, I've got 2 13s. I have a 13 Pro Max and a 13. So, and I just use it because they're just a play. So, yeah. So that you're right. I mean So don't run beta. If it's your primary device, it's not a smart idea to do
like
that.
I did.
So,
yeah.
Yes, but you know what you're doing. We think.
I think that's the funniest comment of the evening.
I kind of think
and you delivered it with a straight face. Well done.
And I couldn't even make it. I couldn't even make it believable. Guy knows what he's doing. Yeah. So it continues. It continues to. This one I think was one of the bigger releases. One of the other things I did notice that there's a bit of changes to the inbox on the iPhone mail settings. One of the most annoying quirks. It was one of the most feature request was to be able to change how it behaves when a user moves a message to a different folder or sends it to the trash. Now in 18.4, the mail app would always automatically move on to the next message in the inbox, which would be annoying. And annoyingly cause the unrelated message to be marked as read in the process. But as many people have asked for, the app now just simply returns the inbox list instead. And 18.4 finally does that. So there is a new feature in Mail called Delete or Move Message Action. So the default action is View Next Message, which preserves the long-standing behavior, but then you can now turn that off, and then it won't do that. I never had a problem with this. Jeff, did you ever have a problem with this?
No, but mostly because I had to give up on using Apple's Mail app in general.
You stopped.
Yeah, it's basically Mail is an app that I use for quick access to my my Apple Mail, iCloud, or Mac.com. There we go. Holy crap!
Wow.
Whatever they call it now.
iCloud.
Yeah,
I think it's Mobile Me, Jeff. I think the current name is
Mobile.
Mobile.
Yeah, there you
Me.
go.
It's my Mobile Me
Yes,
account.
that's the current name.
But yeah, so I mean, Apple can keep making improvements to Mail, which is great, and maybe someday I'll be able to use it again. But it is fundamentally broken for me.
Yeah. You touched on the ambient music feature. Jeff, why don't you elaborate a little more on that? Is it something that you think was worth adding?
Yes, because discoverability of features is really difficult on Apple devices.
Yeah.
So giving people a way to easily get at this ambient stuff is really nice. So, I mean, before you could do the ambient sounds, so you could have like a forest or a beach, things like that. But the only way you knew how to use those was by reading an article that told you the things to say to the S lady, so that you could get those. But then you'd have to write notes so you remember this is the thing I want to say. The rare time I actually want to do it. So this is another step in the right direction. I mean, giving people an ambient music thing is nice. Making it something that's easily accessible, that's even more important.
Yeah. Barney, did you try this at
No,
all?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm fascinated by it, and actually was just playing around to see if I could get it set up. I when I'm writing or when I'm doing something where I need something to keep my energy going, the ambient music is what I put on, because I can't use anything that has words,
Same.
familiar songs. Sometimes I'll go to classical because it will do the same thing, but I generally like sort of a chill, regular beat, almost techno kind of sound when I'm producing stuff, because it just writing, it keeps my flow going when I do it. So I've got to look into it and see if there are ways I can make that happen for me with my phone.
Yeah. Guy, did you try this at all?
It's muted.
I'm going to start doing voiceovers for Guy. Yeah, I used it, and it was actually kind of wacky, man. It made me feel like my eyes are going to pop right out of my skull.
Probably a poor choice of words there.
That was a poor choice of words. Yes. Go ahead, Mike.
Because it already happened once. So, no, I don't have it. I don't have it set up. I was just looking at the article because that's like something I would enjoy.
It's super easy. Just do the thing in Control Center where you want to add something, and there's a whole section where it lists the different ambient music. It has the different buttons. Just add the ones you want. Done.
Do they have Elevator Girl from Ipanema?
No.
It has margarita.
But have you seen the documentary about Girl from Ipanema?
No.
Oh, it's fascinating. Just actually, it's not like a full-length documentary, but there's a guy on YouTube that did this whole thing on Girl from Ipanema, why it's the single most popular song ever, and how it's like technically just absolutely brilliant. The way the chord structures work, the way it flows, it's absolutely fascinating. Go find it and watch it.
I will. I'm just glad it's a short documentary.
But I mean, there's a reason why everyone knows Girl from Ipanema and why you hear it all the fracking time. It's because it is one of those things. It's like a once in a lifetime thing that happened. Probably once in a multi-generation thing that song could be created.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's in touch with music.
Yeah, ambient music.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get another segment here. So one thing they did add with the first beta of iOS 18.4, and I forgot to mention this during our Vision Pro discussion, is they did an update with the developers, and for testing purposes, there's another piece of software that's going to be added to it that's going to include a dedicated Apple Vision Pro app, which will show up on the iPhone if you have a Vision Pro headset. So that's also connected to your Apple account. So if you don't have a Vision Pro, it can be downloaded from the App Store. What this is designed for is to help users find content, get help, and learn about the new Vision Pro features. Includes tools for adding content to the Apple TV app to watch later, downloading apps remotely, and visit information about the Vision Pro, such as the serial number and my Vision Pro section. So there's a Discover area there as well, and then I also forgot to mention, Marty too. Let's bring this up. Is the guest setup is going to be so much easier. Where I haven't tried it yet. That you can just hand the headset over to somebody, and then they can start looking, and it'll know that it's a different person, and you can just approve right away instead of having to go through all those steps we had to do to get it, and then put it on an iPad to watch what they do until they know what they're doing. This is
having
cool.
A dedicated app store for basically Vision Pro is something people have been wanting for a long time, not just developers. But to find new stuff, either you have to put the headset on and go through their store to find out what's new, and it's not all inclusive. It's only the apps that they felt they needed to put on the set for that. Or there are a couple of rogue sites you can go to, and some of them are kept up well, and some of them are not kept up at all. So yeah.
So did you try this?
No,
I haven't
tried it.
I don't put it on my 16. So, but it's good to see that they're going to work on that too. I mean to go off a tangent back here to Vision Pro here. So, I forgot I should have put that up in the Vision Pro discussion here. But, and also, I just will mention that tvOS 18.4 as well as watchOS 11.4 were released, and of course, there's really nothing to talk about other than the fact that those versions, of course, on some older watches were pulled back because it was giving problems with the watches too. So there it is. So let's move on another some topics here before we move to other things here. The iPhone 16e, we talked about it last week. It was pre-ordered last week, and it's going to ship as well as be available in the store as we record this tomorrow, Friday, February 28th. So far, I've looked a couple of days here to see if there's still stock available, and it still isn't like a big release of an iPhone here that it's going to be 2 months before you get it. It's ready to ship, and you can get it for I think most sizes, and so it's definitely going to not. I don't think it's going to be tough to get one of these if you want one, of course.
It's not going to sell. Not like 16.
Yeah, I think it'll sell a little bit. It's
going to sell,
like we talked about last week.
I just wonder if they're going, like when the 17 comes out, are they going to roll the E into that as well, or are they going to wait until the next year like they did with this one?
No, they did that with the SE. The SE,
but the SE didn't follow the same numbering
convention. This is true. So hard to say. So reviews are mixed at best. They're coming up with the pros and the cons. It's just as powerful as this iPhone 16. It does have some pretty good battery life. It's a sharper screen, dependable camera, USB-C port, of course, now. And then and the one big thing as well, I don't know if it's big, but it's got Apple Intelligence that runs okay. It runs well, they say. But you're missing, the screen is not as bright as a 16. It's got no mmWave 5G or ultra wideband or Wi-Fi 7. It's still not using Wi-Fi 7. That's still got a long ways to go on that. One lens, no MagSafe charging port. We talked about that too. And of course, it's the first iPhone that has Apple's own C1 modem. So that's something that is going to be evolving here. And I'm going to hit that topic on another show here because there's so much else to talk about here. But it is definitely interesting to see. I'm going to throw it back out here again. I don't know, Mike, if you had any chances to look at all the stuff that's been going on and announced with the 16E. I think it might be something you might be interested in.
No. No, I don't mean to disparage it. I mean, it's a great little phone. And I think a lot of people will be super interested in it. I was interested to see how much noise was being made about the MagSafe not being in it. It does have Qi charging, so cool. You can still
so you can put
use magnetic induction charging with it anyway. I don't know how big of a deal MagSafe is to someone who's looking to get a 16E. It's fine. For $100 more, I'd buy a 15. Honestly, I wouldn't even look at the 16. That's what a lot of people are saying. But
go buy a 15. Yeah,
$100 is $100, and I think it's, as Guy said, it's going to be a very attractive device for a large part of the market.
Yeah, it should be. You got thoughts, Joe?
Do I have thoughts?
I thought you.
Okay, first, I have skimmed through a bunch of reviews, and my takeaway from all of them is, holy forking shirtballs, people, get out of your fracking echo chamber. Because so many of these reviews that either bag on the phone or complain about what isn't there, these are non-issues
for most people. Yeah.
For most people, if it's an issue for you, this isn't the phone for you anyhow, and you already know it. I think this phone is a great balance of features. And I think the price is reasonable. And I think for a lot of people that want to get into a new phone, that this is a reasonable option. For the people where the other features matter, but they want to save a few bucks, okay, they'll buy a 15 instead. But get a 16 if you like it. This is a solid phone. It's not the right phone for me, and that's okay.
No.
I think that a lot of people also forget that the United States isn't the only market that Apple sells in, and I think this is going. I know, shock. It's a good thing we're all sitting. I think it's going to sell very well outside the United States, and take a look. Or just notice what Apple did when they talked about the improvements and gave comparisons to previous specs. They compared it to the iPhone 11, and I think that was really important to note. Apple was sending a message. They're looking at people that haven't upgraded in several years. And these are the people that will be able to say, "Oh, yeah, I know how my phone performs," and because they're talking about what I already have or something very similar. So, yeah, this is not for the person that has an iPhone 13 to 13 Pro today and wants to update.
No.
This is for people with older phones. This is for people on a budget, but they can afford a little bit
12
more.
and
This is for people outside the United States, and it's a great feature set. If MagSafe really matters that much to you, but this is the phone you want, get a fracking magnetic case for it.
Or something with a clamp.
Yeah, because you can put the magnet inside the case, and it's in there.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of companies that are making iPhone 16e cases with that built in already.
I disagree.
I'm super excited about this phone, actually.
I disagree
just not for me.
Partially, Jeff. I think this is, if you're still rocking a 14 or a 15 for $599, you're getting close to the latest internals that's in the 16, and the only thing you're missing is MagSafe. If you charge your if you charge your phone in your car, that might be a problem. But again, there's ways to get around that already. The pluses kind of outweigh the minuses with this phone. So I don't think it's just for people that are on X's and 11s and 12s. I think anything up to a 14 or a 15, you're getting a solid upgrade.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Except maybe in the camera, but
if
not all
you're
video.
buying the phone for the camera,
yeah,
you're not looking at
this
this model anyhow,
right?
And you may not even be looking at a regular 16.
Yeah, you might be going
if you're buying for the camera. Yeah,
if you're buying for the camera.
Yeah.
And you've got the great feature set of Apple Intelligence that isn't ready yet. So, you're future proof.
Perfect.
There's that. So there's been some interesting articles about, what's going away from now. 16E is coming out. The 14, which is going to be the last of the Lightning connector series phones, iPhones. And I don't think you probably miss it. And if someone wanted to go with the 16E instead of going to the 15, I don't know. You have to kind of decide here, because Apple still is selling the 15, and why wouldn't you want to explore that? Which I'll talk about in a minute.
It's got a built-in expiration date if it's not going to run AI. The 15,
right? There's your one thing right there.
Matters,
not having AI in it.
Well, it's going to matter more and more going forward. So, it's just not fully baked. Or half baked or quarter baked at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people will be enjoying Apple's AI features in the future, even if they don't know they are directly using them, like getting the intelligence summaries, especially when that improves. Those little things that's still Apple Intelligence, but you may not be asking your phone to do a ChatGPT sort of thing ever, but you can still take advantage of these features without even knowing you're doing it.
Right.
So with the re-release of the 16E, that means we will say goodbye to the Lightning port. I know it was good to know you, I guess I would say, because now it's not proprietary anymore. The USB-C is standard across all phones out there now these days. And I don't think I miss it much. I'm going to have to maintain it for a while for those who still have it, and it's going to be a long while before it disappears. I'm sure Apple's going to be selling cables and such for a bit while to go.
Sometime in 2032, the last gap will happen.
Yeah. Well, the 30-pin connector went, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I get a bunch of those cables at the office if you want some. Anybody want a 30-pin cable?
I do too.
I got brand new ones.
I got them too.
I will keep that in mind because I still do have my, I think it's 4th gen iPod, the one with the buttons across the top.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
Well,
I've got some iPods too. So
I'm going to throw a curve. You should never talk ill of the dead, especially when the dead's sitting in the same chat room as you are. I'm getting a 16E tomorrow.
You always buy everything. So now we get to hear what you have to say about it.
Here's my logic. I have a very nice 16 Pro Max. It is so theftable at this point. If I'm going to travel, I want a phone that I can take the Apple ecosystem with me and use it on it and not have to worry too much about the cost of the loss or stealing that. So I've got some trips coming up. I will be taking that phone with me instead of my 16 Pro Max because I don't think I'll be doing spatial photography at the conferences I'm going to. I'll bring it to MacStock with me, probably also with my 16 Pro Max. So yeah, I'm fascinated by the technology and the limitations. Frankly, if they were still selling an SE model, I might consider going back and getting one of those. I had one at a time, and kind of enjoyed it for travel.
And my wife still uses an SE.
Yeah, so.
But she has the SE, the first gen.
And I finally got her to the 2nd gen, and now it's kind of like, because she loves Touch ID. She doesn't want to give up Touch ID. And the battery life is starting to become questionable on the SE.
You have to replace the battery.
You can, but it's like, let's just move you at least closer to the future, with your Intel iMac.
Yeah.
and your SE, and something a little more modern than that, he says, knowing she's completely out of earshot.
Yeah. Oh, wise man.
All right. So we'll cover more with 16 E next week, because there's going to be plenty more to talk about. Now it's in everybody's hands, and we'll be hearing a lot more. And I'll definitely want to hear what you have to say about it, Marty, because you'll have it in your hands as well. So, but let's just move on, and a couple quick in touch with Mac things here this week. The first beta of macOS Sequoia 15.4 was released. They're saying that 15.4 is set to be released in April. And there really hasn't been a really standout of any much differences here on what was added to that. As well as I've been waiting for this for a while, because I do have to use it for work. Microsoft now has released an official Copilot app for the Mac. I was able to download the one that was for iPad because Microsoft had left it open, so you could do it right at the beginning, but then they closed it off right away, so then I couldn't get any of the updates. So being with work, I have to use Copilot. I want to stay on top of it. I'm going to be curious to see if we'll be able to install it on. I doubt we'll be able to install it in our environment at work, because we block a lot of those apps. But because we want to, because all the information is restricted to what you can search for, and you can't upload company data and all that stuff. So, but I'm glad to see that this came out, and you can check it out. It's free, and if you have a Microsoft 365 subscription like I do, you get some limited added. You don't have to pay the $20 a month. You'll get some advanced search capabilities with Copilot. So, yeah, I got to know about this stuff. So it's important. So I don't know if any Mike or anybody, you guys, you've been exploring anything with ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini.
Copilot is not bad.
That's a lot of the AI.
I've been looking for a way
Copilot
to turn off
pretty good.
Copilot in Office, but I have not found it.
Oh yeah, because it's built. Yeah, because it's
and
got
if you
the button,
ask Copilot for those
so.
instructions, it won't give them to you. But
I have.
if you ask,
It becomes
If you ask Gemini or ChatGPT or what?
now, if you ask Copilot how to install Windows without a key, it'll give you the instructions on how to pirate Windows.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because it's going out and
Create
finding
a power
Gemini. Gemini is equally difficult to turn off, virtually impossible.
Yeah.
And that's why I appreciate Apple Intelligence so much, because it's a single toggle. You turn it off if you don't want it, turn it on if you do. That's how all of these should be.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. So that's a couple of things that are on Mac this week. Let me get a couple more topics before you head to the news, and we get near a wrap up here. So they did do some releases for Luma Fusion.
Yeah.
Jeff. I don't know if you've already explored this. I would love to hear what you have to say about this, because Luma Fusion, it's been 7 years since this app is on. I know it's your go-to video editor on an iPad, and you got SVG shape imports, quick zoom transitions, and a variety of new preset shapes. What else do you see that's going to be some beneficial things for you?
Okay, so the adjustment clips, that's going to make a lot of multi-track editing so much easier. You get the 12-track audio and I guess video also. So that means you can have more tracks that you're working on at any given time. Now, for me, I have never needed to have 12 tracks, but knowing that that's an option, that's nice. So, actually, the SVG shape import, that fixes workflow issues for me, because you can have an SVG, so it's infinitely scalable. It has transparency, and how do I deal with that right now, you may ask?
How do you deal with that right now?
Well, that's a great question, Guy. I'm so glad you asked. I have to take whatever the image is that I want to work with, turn it into a PNG with a transparent background, and make sure that it's at a high enough resolution so that when I drop it into my video clip, it still looks good. And a lot of times that means I'm actually taking an SVG, turning it into a PNG, and then putting the PNG in. Now I can just drop it in straight. I haven't had a chance to really dive in hands-on with a lot of the features because I've just been busy with other stuff. And for people that are installing it, just or you're doing the 5.2 update, you get some of the features for free, but then other things like the 12-track audio and the adjustment clips, that's a $19.99 purchase, which totally worth it. I mean, when you look at the price of LumaFusion, just the base package, I mean, it is a stupid good deal for a professional nonlinear video editing tool. And then if you just start paying for the add-on packages, sure, it's like $20 a pop, but you're still spending so much less than you would for other professional video editing tools. And it is so good. And all the features are just fantastic. Yeah. Something caught in your throat there. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm super excited about the new LumaFusion features.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I said we definitely need to talk about it. Any of you guys use LumaFusion like Jeff does?
I've tried it. The workflow doesn't really speak to me. I've been using something that's probably similar in capability called CapCut.
Oh, CapCut, yeah. That's a great tool.
Yeah, and
didn't that get banned for a brief time with like TikTok?
Yeah, because it's a ByteDance app.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Guy, the thing that I love about all of this is that we do have choices.
Yep.
So you can use CapCut, and it's great for you. I can use LumaFusion. It's great for me.
I know a lot of people that use LumaFusion and love it.
Yeah. It's when I got turned on to it by an Apple employee, they're like, yeah, don't. You know you need more than iMovie. And
it doesn't.
Right. And but you really don't want to invest in Final Cut Pro. And why should you? Because I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. And so at least at one point, there were people inside Apple that were doing video editing for the company in LumaFusion instead of Final Cut. I don't know if that's still a thing, but for a while it was.
Yeah, it's a thing. You're at least using it on the
I
Apple
think
product,
Jeff convinced me to buy it because I just went into my apps and seen that I have it. I just haven't downloaded it, at least on this device.
So, you probably bought it after I waxed poetic one day.
Jeff, we just have to keep recommending this stuff. You know, Marty's going to buy it.
And I like the kind of linear layout that it has. I mean, I'm using most of my stuff I'm doing in Premiere. And it has that same sort of
also great
functionality. So yeah.
All right. Well, we stay on the trends here of video and photo editing. Adobe did this past week release a Photoshop app for the iPhone. It was announced this week that they have it for the iPhone, which is designed to allow creators to edit and make content while on the go. Core Photoshop tools that have been tweaked for mobile devices. The iPhone app supports layering, masking, and blending and creating unique designs. There is a free version for it that you could have. It'll have limited availabilities, but you also have to pay a subscription if you want all of that. And I think it's like $69, $69.99 a year, or $7.99 a month. So it's
unless you already have Creative Cloud, then it's just included.
Yeah, if you have Creative Cloud, you just get it. Yeah, which I have from work, so I guess I can use it if I sign into it. So Jeff, I know you've been talking about this. What was your thoughts? What Adobe?
I will try and keep it succinct for you. This is long overdue. This is something that a lot of Photoshop users have been begging for years. And what Adobe released a few years ago as their Photoshop thing for the iPhone, which wasn't really Photoshop. It just kind of sucked. So it's good to see that they finally rolled out the thing that people really needed. It'll get more features over time. And for the people that are saying, I'll never want to do photo editing on my iPhone.
on my iPhone.
Okay, keep in mind that if that's you, then this isn't the product for you. This is for people, I think,
Right.
that already have Photoshop workflows and they need to be able to access their projects wherever they are on whatever device they have. And now this is one more window into that content for them because, well, this is the device they're probably going to have with them all the time. You're not going to do tons of editing in here, but if you're out in the field and you need to take care of something, you need to hop into a project quickly when you don't have your Mac with you, whatever. Now you have a tool that's going to let you do that that image editing out in the field.
Mike, would this be something you would use, or would you do a lot of photo editing? If in a pinch, would you want to use something like this?
I don't think so. No, I don't. No, I don't think so. Is this only for the phone? Is that the deal? It's just for
this.
This is just for the
version that came out.
No, I'm pretty certain
iPhone,
I wouldn't use that at all. I do almost all my photo editing. It leads into one of your other stories, but I do almost all of my photo editing on the Mac. So,
Marty guy, would you do it?
No, I'm a big fan of Adobe. So
I'm not a big.
Well, that's the other reason.
I'm not a big photo editing person, but since I have Creative Cloud, I went ahead and downloaded the app and started to play with it. And it had some features in it that I was surprised and pleased. But of course, I have a Creative Cloud account, so those features are present on it. If you just download it without an account, you can do some limited work with it. But for me, like having a phone with a crossword puzzle to play on, for me, this is like another kind of toy that I could do with photos with it. Definitely, if I was doing some serious, I'd need the full screen, I'd need the landscape, and I need to do it on my Mac. So I get that. But it pulled me in enough to try and do some editing with it and do layers and some fun stuff with it, knowing that I was just kind of gaming around with it.
Yeah. I think if you're going to actually really use this, not as your primary photo editing app, but if you want to like seriously use it, you need a Max. You need that bigger screen. But realistically, the way I see most people using this, it'll be things like what was the example I gave Chuck? You're on the subway, you work for a content agency, you get a call, hey, the client that we have a meeting with in 20 minutes that you can't be here for, they need to see this logo with these alternate things. Is there any way you can take care of that? And you're like, hold on, you hop on your iPhone and you make some new layers in the document, duplicate something, change the color, do the drop shadow or change the text, whatever it is. And you've got it done before you hit your next subway stop where you're getting off. They've got the files they need for the meeting in 20 minutes. And your agency is the hero.
And you've just done a commercial. Yep. I mean, that little story feels like a commercial, not promoting the product, but just the way the story fits in. It's like, Adobe
should send me a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
They have a lot of it.
It came straight from Jeff AI.
Right. All the answers you never knew you needed.
Yeah. Without pants.
That's right.
Last news story this week. Let's go ahead and move on. Last news story this week is Pixelmator's apps have now been updated 2 weeks after Apple's been confirmed as owners. Pixelmator's suite of photo editing apps have been updated, and then they have now taken over ownership. But kind of here, where was going to be expected to see what they're going to be doing with this. This new update just brought no business model changes, just focus on bug fixes. This was announced back in November of 2024 when they decided to merge. So this is the three apps that they updated: the Pixelmator, Pixelmator Pro, and Photomator. And many of these updates just make it improve with some improvements. So good to see. Yeah, it does have the little splash screen when you first open it up. It says, yeah, we're now part of the Apple family. So, and Mike, you wanted to add something about Pixelmator. You use Pixelmator?
I do. I have a I started with Pixelmator itself and then moved on to Pixelmator Pro.
Yeah.
Photomator is a great app as well. It's not my primary photo editing app. I would say that's Affinity Photo. But Pixelmator falls into that category of apps like Acorn from Flying Meat software.
Yep. Great software.
Acorn's fantastic. Pixelmator Pro is great. Affinity Photo is great, and there's just a ton of open source photo editing apps that are fantastic as well. I am mostly interested in not what it means for Pixelmator right now, but what it means for Apple in the future in terms of what they're going to do with this software package. Apple doesn't historically buy something like this and then keep everything the same. Look at Final Cut. This is a package that Apple has purchased and became something entirely different. Logic also, I believe, right? Didn't Logic have a different name before?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that was.
I'm trying to remember the name.
E something.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting what they do with it and how they incorporate it into their Pro line of apps and how they position it. Is it going to be a subscription? Is it going to be a subscription app on the iPad, but paid app on the Mac like the other apps are? Are they going to move everything over to a subscription? I don't know. I'm mostly interested in speculating about the future of it, not what it means for it right now, because as of right now, nothing's changed. It shows a splash, and that's about the only difference between the Apple version and the non-Apple version at this point.
eMagic.
eMagic. Yeah. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
eMagic? Logic?
Yeah. Well, the company was eMagic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Jeff, are you using Pixelmator or are you using something else?
I do have Pixelmator. I use it occasionally, but I use Affinity Photo most.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you use, Marty?
I primarily use Affinity. And that's the kind of go-to.
We got the majority here.
But with Pixelmator and Pixelmator Pro and the Apple's acquisition, I think Apple's kind of been kept out of the photo editing piece for a while, and basically you can go into Photos and you can do some things. I think they're going to take some components of this and goose up their Photos for the casual user who wants to do some editing and wants to go a little further than what can happen. And then possibly, as Mike suggested, turn it into a Pro line, which would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe. Stream it down to just a Pro. It's possible. So, as I always say, interesting things always happen when with software that gets with acquisitions. So, all right, that's what we got for this week. But before we wrap up, since Mr. Mike Potter is here this week, I know we've been talking about MacStock for a bit here now, and we've got links in the show notes every week to get you out there to get some early bird specials to get some tickets and room blocks that are out there. Tell us what's been new with MacStock. What you've got so far besides that?
I just locked in some new stuff this week that I can't tell you about yet. I so want to tell you about this. But
you'll be on again. You'll tell us about it.
We won't say a word.
It just between you and the internet. I just got confirmation this week. I can't say anything quite yet, but almost there. The super early bird sale, though, that you mentioned, Dave, that $100 off, that is, I've had a couple people ask me if there's going to be better pricing later. No, this is it. This is the best pricing you're going to get on MacStock.
That's why it's super early bird.
It's super early bird.
Exactly.
And
come on, it's worth it, whatever you pay.
It's just through this weekend. So it's just until this weekend. And then that super early bird ends. So it was that weekend of March 1st, 2nd.
We'll update our
and don't forget, everything is now being done in one place. You don't have to go from some other hotel all the way across, God's green acres to get to where MacStock is. MacStock is in one location. So you park your car and you're just there.
You're just there. You're there for the whole weekend.
It was a beautiful thing.
And that's the other thing that's changed this year too. And that is that, last year we had those experimental workshops on Friday. And this year, the workshops are just going to be integrated with the weekend schedule. They were so popular that we said, hey, let's just have 3 days of regular old MacStock. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to have workshops interspersed amongst 45-minute sessions the entire weekend. So it's going to be a great weekend. I'm getting some fantastic presentation ideas in. At the moment, I can tell you it's going to be very difficult to hone these down. But that's why we've got the third day. So I don't have to. I don't have to hone down the presentations. I can just accept everything, because I'll tell you, right, everything that has been submitted so far is probably going to be accepted. They're all really, really great presentation ideas, and I think folks are going to dig it. And I think it's because this year's theme is share. And, you might say share is kind of a softball, but share means something entirely different to every single person who has submitted a talk so far.
Is that SHARE or CHER?
Oh, Marty, I am so glad you mentioned that, because I was itching to say during the news stories about the Vision Pro and Bono stories of surrender. I was really hoping it was Bono.
Yeah.
And not Bono. No, Sonny Bono.
No,
Sonny
Bono.
Share.
You have that
Sonny
spatial photograph of slamming into a tree.
Too soon?
Wow.
No, it's not too soon. That was a long time ago.
The world lost a great talent that day.
God,
that was a long walk to a bad joke, but we got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, MacStock is July 11th, 12th, and 13th, 3 full days of MacStock, and we got some exciting things that are going to be coming to MacStock this year. Some returning things, some new things, and I'm ready to make these announcements as soon as I can. As soon as I get a couple confirmations,
and as soon as you can, you'll hear about it.
All roads to Chicago lead to MacStock.
It does. Even I was inspired with the shared. I'm not going to share what I'm going to be talking about this year, but I've got a good one.
I have to find my notes that I made at the end of last year. Because I had ideas, and Mike, I think I even mentioned one of them to you.
You did.
And I'm like,
I forgot what it was, but you did. No.
I good, because I still can't find my notes. I just started looking, because I wrote down the topic ideas I had, and
Guy is not wrong. All roads do lead to MacStock, because Chicago is the rail hub of America. I mean, that is Chicago's history.
The air hub too,
and air hub. It is air hub. So all roads do indeed lead to MacStock. Yeah,
they do.
Very true.
All right, Mike. Thanks for giving us an update. And
thanks, Dave.
Like he said, July 11th, 12th, 13th. You need to be here and come check out MacStock 9, and just go out to the site. We'll have links in the show notes. Go check it out, and we'll keep talking about it. So thanks. And with that, what a great show this week. Let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That is a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky and Mastodon. It's at InTouchWithIOS. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com, where we really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you're notified when we are live streaming, which is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for Webb Bixby and Brian F. and a number of other people who were in the chat this week. They were able to watch us live. It was a lot of fun. That's on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. You can watch the live stream as well as the past live streams and listen to past shows. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics are discussed and flipped on that magazine. Go to the link in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show, your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, just go to intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are on that website. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Blue Sky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And Mike Potter, again, thank you for being here. We always love having you on the show and telling us about MacStock. Where can people find you?
You just very, very generously allowed me to talk about MacStock, but that's MacStockConferenceandExpo.com, Dave. And you'll also find MacStock on Mastodon and Blue Sky at MacStock Expo. And For Mac Eyes Only is my podcast at ForMacEyesOnly.com. And again, also on Mastodon and Blue Sky at For Mac Eyes Only. Thanks, Dave.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Guy Serle, thank you for being here this week. We love having you on the show. Where can people find you?
You can find me nearly every week over on the MyMac.com podcast with Gaz. You can get a hold of us through various email addresses, as well as Guy and Gaz in MacParrot and VertShark over on Twax and Blue Sky. Twax. I don't even know what to call it anymore.
Yeah, well,
just a band.
That's the way it goes. And Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Always a pleasure to be here. Jencius, Jencius, Blue Sky or Mastodon. Monday nights at 9 p.m. I do Eastern Time. I do a podcast with Eric Bolden called Vision Profiles. Bunch of other podcasts you can just check out and find out what I'm up to at thepodtalk.net. That website will give you all the links to the podcasts that I'm involved in. Tuesday nights with Chuck, Thursday nights here.
There you go.
There's the podtalk.net.
I was just going to get mine too.
There we go.
I need to.
There we go.
Mine's like within reach, but I have to lean over, and it's a process to get the drawer open. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, well.
I need to pull that out and just have it sitting here ready, so that anytime Marty drops his show list, I can hold up my little sheet too.
That's right. And that's Jeff Gamet. Thanks for being here, Jeff. We really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you for letting me join in. I do appreciate it. Okay, so you can find me on the social medias. I'm Jay Gamet everywhere. I'm active right now on Mastodon. I'm transitioning from Instagram to PixelFed.
Oh, good.
And I'm enjoying that.
I'm trying to.
And am I following you on PixelFed yet? I can't remember. Okay, good.
You are. I put it in the feed.
Oh, good. So then I've probably followed you right away. And I'm posting stuff on Blue Sky too. So then for shows, okay. Tuesdays, Chuck Joiners from Mac Voices Live here on Dave's show on Thursdays. British Tech Network, Big Show on Thursdays, Mac Show on Fridays. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and producer Brenda Moore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Great. Thank you, Jeff, and thanks all of you for listening, watching, and supporting the show. We really appreciate it. And we're going to be back next week. So until next time, great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.